Hey, what's up, sweaties? How you guys doing? Hope you guys having a fantastic day today. Welcome, welcome. Today is DGD, which is different game day, which is where I play different games throughout the stream. But it's a surprise DGD, which is where I do that on days I don't normally stream. And today we're going to be getting into some Unreal Engine 5 development, along with some awesome games. Sorry about that, was having some technical difficulties. Let's get in, because where we left off last time, in the Unreal Engine 5 caves, the rabbit holes. Is getting into some awesome stuff, which is vehicle, well, landscape related, but now we're starting to use the landscape, finally, the map, the practice grounds, and stuff that we've been working on, and using it in the way that it wants and needs to be used. Because with the USA improvised training grounds, we're taking it and we're finally using the purpose of this stuff. And it's really good because it's helping us figure out a lot with the vehicle, which has been pretty game-changing considering the stuff that we probably have to do to it. Well, maybe or maybe not, because I did some extra research on vehicle systems, and it's funny because it's my favorite word. It's kinematic. Mathematic. But yeah, kinematic vehicle systems. I knew there was like another way, but it's terrible, Google. It really is on the searches, where type in vehicle systems, not Unreal Engine 5 Chaos System, it still shows a Chaos System. In order to find another system, you have to type in kinematic. You legit have to, which is crazy. That's actually mind-blowing to me. Because I found the YouTube on my recommended feed, and I didn't actually Google that. So, you know, that's just that. You gotta be careful of that stuff and do extra stuff. So we got one for, like, motorcycles, because I found one for the motorcycle, regular vehicles, and, like, tank-related stuff. But, which theoretically could, because I saw kind of how the system works, just to make sure that it doesn't use the Chaos vehicle, but like a different version of it. And it's like, yeah, theoretically we could use one blueprint with, I guess, kinematic systems, but then we lose, especially with the tanks. Well, we lose it, but we'd have to create it. So, I don't know. I think we're good with Chaos vehicles, I guess. It just really depends, because I really wanted to keep it on one blueprint, but now I'm like, whatever. And so if we try to now keep it on one blueprint, we're going to have data assets to then fill in that information, or a data table, which then, if we're going to do that, why not just have it as a blueprint with all the extra stuff? Because we would lose all the function, we would have to create all the, like, get RPM, get the wheel speed. We would have to, like, figure all that stuff out, because it's not the Chaos system. Which, that is useful still, you just can't edit the Chaos system, or set variables on the Chaos system. Most of them. I think you said a little bit, but like 90%, 99% what you want to change, you can't, because it's baked in the physics. But, figuring that out, we're figuring out the key elements on creating this. So we're going to continue that today by putting on the variables, because yesterday we fully dissected the vehicle system to truly see. So then with knowledge on that, I thought about like, okay, if we're just gonna do a system, it's basically like our system, but less good. Why do that? I guess technically for a little bit more optimization because of stuff that's not going to be on the kinematic system because the wheels, all the other extra stuff, not going to be there. Technically going to be more optimized, but then that means we're going to have to fight a lot to make it kind of work, which then would be annoying in certain ways. Which is not annoying to set them up. Which, funny enough, we still might use the kinematic version for the bicycles, like the actual bicycles, not motorcycles, the bicycles. Ring ring. Because funny enough, a lot is kinematic. I've got like 2 ways of doing it on the motorcycle, but it's like, do we even really need to do that? Because we could kind of just fake that. But with the chaos system, we know 3-wheeled vehicle is a weird thing. So maybe for 3-wheeled, 2-wheeled vehicles, we just use kinematic stuff, which would make it easier. Actually, a way easier. And with the animations, it's super easy, and with the player animation, it's super easy too for kinematic. So, thankfully found some stuff on that, but that's not what we're gonna do just yet. Oh, we gotta get into boop, 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 into the improvised training ground. We gotta further develop our skills in the Unreal Engine. Yo, shout out to the sweaties. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Welcome. It's great to see you, Little John. It's great to see my sweaty lurkers and VOD watchers. Let me in. First thing I'm gonna do. So we figured everything out with the stuff. I mean, one thing we technically haven't theoretically ale water, but since we're using planes, it really didn't. Oh, that reminds me. I need to write that down just in case I forget. I keep forgetting to put the fog under the water. I wonder if I still have... Wait. Huh. I would, wouldn't I? Not for my Unreal Engine stuff, right? Because I deleted all that. Did I? Yeah. I did for Unreal Engine. I might still have my old Unity map where I did the water stuff, so that's how I know that. It'd be really cool to do that again. It's like, you know, coming full circle and implementing it in such a bigger way than I did ever before. It's like, kind of really want to do that. Crave. Which would be a thing, because the player is going to be swimming, so how we're going to, like, figure that out. Which I guess, oh, type that down too, because I forgot about that. Thankfully, there is a movement thing, a actual movement system, I don't know what you would call it, or movement state, that's what you would call it, in Unreal Engine that's built in for flying, swimming, and like a few other ones. And we saw that via the ladder. That's how you do the ladders. You make it where, because when you immediately go flying and do like the vertical, you just go up. So it's like, it's simulating the ladders. And then you turn the state back off to, like, walk, and then go forward. So for the swimming, I assume that should be okay here, but I guess we'll see. Create a swimming... We just attach the buoys onto the player, and they're just like... they're aimed, because, like, it keeps, like... as waves, so their aim's gonna be like all over the place. Man, no one would step a foot in the water if that was an actual mechanic. Create a... yeah. Ooh. Here we go. Yo, hope you have just anything. And, good to see you in the background. Yo, appreciate you. Welcome, welcome. Yo. OZ256 Outbreak. Going in. Replaying further. It's all those like little stuff that I purposely kind of skipped so we could finish it later, because it's just like easy things, not really figuring out. It's like adding UI, little logic to the UI, sound effects, you know, just a little small things, nothing really too in depth of like creating mechanics. Besides, I think the two, because there's like another one, yeah, one of the blood analyzer, I think. A blood analyzer, and then the... oh no, I think it's 3 equipment. The blood analyzer? Or I was thinking of I forget what I decided to do that. If I wanted to merge that with another thing, But there's like the freeze your samples thing, which is not like a freezer thing, like the storage stuff that we have to keep the samples longer, because if you did that, I mean, we could have a system, but those don't work like, hey, just turn it up to negative 40,000. You know what I mean? Like, they're not meant to do that. It's meant to keep them, like, stored for a long time. But to get them into the state to be stored for extra long periods of time is important. Maybe or maybe not, depending. So that's where it's like, I'm not going to try to build that. I'm first going to go through the whole thing, kind of figure out, start buffing out all the edges, which is the UI tracking. And what was I was working on? Oh, UI tracking in certain beginning parts, which is, it's only the beginning part because of how sandbox it is. It's just like the introduction, I gotta really make sure, because I was like all kind of rough edges. Everything else is just like, spawn your stuff, go do it, send it, really. So I don't have to do anything else, because that's how it's supposed to be, with main quests and side quests. So that's really cool. I'm super excited for that, and getting more of that figured out. Really dope. Now, let's figure this out. Which would be well, because what's the first thing I want to do? It is amphibious. So we got there's like 2 booleans. So consensus so far, which is big boy decisions. I think we're keeping with the chaos system. With the research I saw, the other plugins, unless it's so good, then we will change it. You know what I mean? Like late game. But everything else with the dissecting that we did yesterday. Also, I've had this bug today. I don't know why it just keeps doing this. Ever since I had it, like in this project, it's infected all my other projects. Weird. It's a pretty nice system. It's funny because the system was created for a different reason, but it still can be used for another reason. Like, it's not... It was originally just to kind of get the information there, but we're like, oh, we could just set the information ourselves. But then we're like, well, we actually kind of don't want to set it. We don't want to have to do the manual hard work each time if we could just create a little system that does it for us. It's like, well, that's really nice. So then the system's made for that. And the way that we're going to be doing this, that I'm kind of like, did a lot of dissecting with us and kind of understanding the Unreal Engine, the paths of other type of vehicle systems. It's seeming like, unless we go for like the paid ones or do the kinematic stuff, you know, it's like, this is the path that we're going to have to take for the system. It's like, okay, we're probably looking at what's going to be the vehicle system. And not like, okay, let's change, because it was like, basically for the vehicle system, ground vehicles at least so far, right? Which includes amphibious. Because they could be technically a separate type, but no, I wanted that to be, it's just a boolean, which is what we're going to set up. So it's not actually a different vehicle. Well, it's going to be a different vehicle, but like, it's not like a hover tank, you know what I mean? So it's still a vehicle. Which a hover vehicle, funny enough, I would want the BP vehicle to support that as well. That's the idea. Always been, you know, it could be any type of vehicle. And that still helps a lot, even with the child blueprints. So I've thought about this. Unless something like really... I mean, the chaos system in not setting the information, super annoying. Theoretically, we could set the other information of the kinematic, but the information that we're going to be setting is not there. You know what I mean? Like, the wheels. The wheels I could set, so that'd be one. The mass, technically I could set the mass. But when are we going to do that in this type of game? We could on the water, but that's not really the point of this. So it's like, well, a lot of the stuff that we would kind of want to set, we kind of don't need to. The reason why we were trying to set some of that stuff, well, set the chaos vehicle system stuff. The ammunition modifications on the vehicle, that's technically a separate thing that is set and not here, right? So that's what now I'm talking about. But the unsettable stuff It's annoying because I would want to keep it all on blueprint, and that's why I would want to do that. But since I can't do that, then that's chilling. And you know what I kind of forgot too? Now that I'm looking at this, I forgot that if I wanted to really do that, oh dude, I really forgot about that. You know what's funny? I didn't even think about this whole time. You know what settings that I kind of forgot about? The ones I'm looking at right now. Because, like, yeah, that's crazy. The little things that get right past you. The BP vehicle, right? I wanted it to be a single blueprint. I didn't even think. Wait, can we even set any of these variables? We can. Most of you can't. You could add torque, you could do, like, you do a little bit, but the stuff that I would really want to change, you can't. Which is really funny. The one that I was like, oh, let's try is the mass. And then really try mass, no. And then it was the other thing, and I was like, no. So, it's all really kind of putting us to create a separate one, which then means, okay, we still get all of this for every vehicle, which is really nice, still. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. Why not keep it? And that's kind of the consensus I've went for. And that's where it's like, okay, so if we keep the system, then we get all the benefits from it. Sorry about that, sweeties. Yo, I forgot to raise it up some. Let's go. So yeah, so we're just gonna kind of keep it. We'll see what happens. Because if we try to go in like reconfigured, we're going to be doing basically the exact same stuff. So we kind of made it there. So let's make this amphibious. Because vehicles needs to be checked if it's amphibious, and it needs to be checked if it can go backwards. So there's 2 booleans, which means, well, no, not, well, 2 of those, plus the ones that we have here, the variables. So how, well, we could kind of keep this variable on the vehicle itself, really, I guess. Do you need to know the water force of a vehicle? Like in this? No. The reason why this would be here in the structure is if it's coming from the loadout screen. The only thing I could think of is if we have like modern vehicle warfare or like modern warfare, which then has amphibious vehicles or vehicles that can be amphibious. And we have a modification on that amphibious vehicle to make it amphibious or not. But I think they always are amphibious. But like, we could make a modification. Which means if it is, then that needs to... Well, theoretically it doesn't. Well, it does, because something's got to carry over to check this, which would basically be the same thing. So might as well use one thing instead of two things. The water force, set force, and buoyancy. Buoyancy points, not going to change. That's always set on the vehicle. Let's put this... Yeah, let's put this... Okay, so this is water... Water buoyancy system. I don't think we use the water test height, do we? No. Right? No. Oh yeah, I duplicated, but I forgot to delete this. We're not using any of this. We're just doing a line trace at a distance to then trigger this stuff. So water test height. I guess we could get rid of that. I'll name this like... Control Shift S. Delete. Then we got water force. Water force. So that's the force of the water. Don't I have a... Yes, okay. No, that wouldn't be there because that would be on... That would be like a data asset thing. Because why would that change? Unless we want them to change that. Like in the loadout screen. But like the RPM of your vehicle, maybe? But it's not, that's not what that is. No. This wouldn't be in. Because that's the water force. Meaning, like to keep it up and floating. Why would that change? Well, water force is a different thing, but if we did have a hover vehicle, that possibly would change. So I don't know. I mean, when we get to that, I guess we'll do that. For here, we'll just move it into the water buoyancy system. Water buoyancy, then like is in water, same thing with the water buoyancy system. That will go into there. And vehicle EB barrels. I should have put these in because I don't know what's... Yeah, I haven't put none of these in? No. Can I put it in this? Yes. I guess. Yeah, because that'll be vehicle variables. Is can shoot? Is driver's seat taken? Can all go into here. Test X recoil. I'm pretty sure that's for the vehicle barrels, EB barrels. I don't know. Do we do anything with this? Seems so, but I don't know if that's really this one. This one's Scion. These are like the other one. So name is debug. Copy. Paste. No. So delete. Now if I delete it, it should say nothing. Yep, nothing's attached, so that's nothing. Struct vehicle template land data structure. Debug. Copy, paste, delete. I'm pretty sure those were the first like vehicle structure stuff. That's why I'm like looking at this like, man, I didn't do nothing. I didn't put these in nothing. That's crazy. Player BP that spawned vehicle. Well, that's pretty specific, so I can just search that. Why do I get it? Is it for the interaction system? I should see. This is why you put comments around your stuff. So I'm getting the specialist to get the vehicles, to get that, to get but like the person who spawned it, is that like anywhere? A variable for me to... Oh, wow, that's crazy. So... Right? Because I'm pretty sure this was the first variable, since it's not attached to anything else, that was the system of me seeing... Well, I don't know. The player BP that spawned the vehicle. Why do I need to know that? I don't know. I'm putting debug because it kind of makes me think of like something of the spawning that I was like, oh, that's a cool little idea. But it's like, well, I don't really need to do that because I could just check. I mean, do I want to put the owner? I could do that too, which we haven't done. But like, we fill the seats with the player BP. So, do we even destroy it? I don't even know what we do when we get into the tank. See, I don't know if we destroy it or if we do something else. What's in debug? Actually, no. Is driver cam seat? Debug. Pretty sure that's nothing. Yep, these are the old ones too. Thought so, because these are in the structure. So this one, gone. I'm just going to delete them because they will say if they're being used. Are you sure you want to do that? Even if they're like right here. So those are gone. Pitch max. Vehicle aiming. Aiming variables. New var. Delete. Yep. EB barrel sound effects, I think. Yep, gone to EB barrel world location, I'm pretty sure too. Yep, wow, dude, none of these are being used. Vehicle seat index, we might, yeah. Vehicle seat passenger index max. Why do we need to know the max? Do I just get that? Where do I set the max? Okay, I set, okay. But what do I do this? Shoot function? Oh, that's right, because we get, wait, what? Actually, no, wait, what do we even do with that? Because don't we just fill the seat? So, get the length of the EB barrels. Vehicle EB barrels. That's not even the right, okay. So, and I got like bind event. It's funny because I still kind of forget again, like how the events work. So when this is, I don't even know what this is about. Play sound at location. What sound am I playing? Like, this is the shoot function, but I'm checking if there's Passenger seat indexes? I gotta debug this. So we can put like lowercase debug. Actually, no, uppercase. Debug. References. Then struct seat EB barrel. I see this is right here. Why do we use this? I guess bug. Oh, actually, I just opened that. Blueprints visual scripting. Passenger seat index current. That sounds like something we use. Yes. All right, so this is vehicle variable. I'm gonna put this one in here. Well, no, I'm put this here so we can easily see so I don't forget about it. That's why I put the debug one here. Because if I put it into a thing, I forget about it and close it, even though it says debug. Because I'm like, just debug it later. But some of the things I'm like, oh crap, I should probably do that now. Temp vehicle EB barrel rockets. Don't think we use that one. Oh no, apparently we do. Oh no, we do. I'll put that in the vehicle. Yeah, put in the vehicle one. We use that so we can, so we put all the barrels into that and then get a random thing and randomize it. So we don't remove the original ones, because you can't, in order to remove, because we want to not shoot the same barrel again off of a rocket. So like, boom, this one shoots randomly. We don't want to shoot this one again. And if we don't remove it, it's going to then go again randomly and then shoot this one. So we got to not do that. So we got to remove it. And if we were to remove it, if we were to do that with the original array of barrels, we would remove this barrel from ever being shot again. So you have to create a temp array. I've done this multiple times with arrays, where you have something like the original array of like something like that. It doesn't have to be barrels, but like stuff like that. And you have to make a temp one so you can use randomize or whatever type of sorting or whatever that you're doing for the array. Do that so it doesn't affect the actual original, because you're going to be using some type of remove thing on this one that you don't want on this one. Sometimes you do, but most of the time I don't. So I create a temp one. That's why you will see a lot of, especially in UE5 would do that a lot in there. Temp their array variables so it can do specific stuff like we're kind of getting to it. But now that's more sorted, because now we're starting to get like a lot more stuff. So probably just like the structures, if we had like 150 child blueprints and we edit the parent blueprint, probably could be a little bothersome and crashy. Might have some problems, but we'll see. Just like, don't want to like rename a file years later and be like, you wanna, I don't want to do that at the beginning. It's gonna have some problems probably. But that looks all good. This is like, these are just warnings, but it works, which is annoying. So these warnings are always going to be here. So it's these warnings, always a reminder, maybe try to fix it. And if we can't, we can't. Alright, so with the vehicle, we'll take this here, close all tabs to the right. Do we got a lot in the first person? Not so much. Okay. So now, with all that being the case, we want to see if the vehicle is amphibious. That is... So, would we want to do that? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. To give the player, or give, I guess, people the ability to easily do that. By just adding it to the structure. So it could be added as a modification. But we're not going to add it as a modification, because it doesn't work like that. Unless we do want it to work like that. Good. The vehicles, so like, but the whole point of the Wagen is to do that. So like, you buy that, not have that, that's a little weird. But I'm thinking that's really only good for like modern tanks plus, where it's like, yeah, this is the variation 1AB, non-amphibious. This is the variation, or not even variation, just put it in a new engine. But it's technically a new variation, so that's like a separate tank. So we could have two tanks, or one tank that can have different variations. become technically different variations of that said tank. But normally when there's variations, you get like extra stuff, so then it becomes a different tank. But we want to see if it's amphibious. If it's amphibious... So where do we need to put those checks? Let's start figuring that out. Let's start moving some of this. What is this? Why is this not commented? What is this? Is this the vehicle swap system for... Oh my god, we didn't even figure that all out. That's right. Oh, well, we did, but I just didn't do it for the other stuff. I forgot to put a comment. I didn't... What is me doing not doing comments? Swap. Vehicle. Seat. Logic. Boom. Okay. Because we got the moving stuff here, so we probably... Open this up. What is this? Does that move? Yeah, why is this here? This goes up more. More for like the error logic is more up north. More up north. Like this. Maybe move it over there. What's this? Wait. Bring this bad boy up. Bring this down. Wow. Boom. So let's organize a little bit here. Boom. Boom, boom. So this is vehicle brake. I could just make this all one function. But this is like the testing stuff. And I forgot to do that, where for the bottom one, because the vehicle brake is reverse too. I should probably name that brake/reverse. Because first you do this type of stuff, then you do the other. That's kind of closest we've gotten, but we might straight up just plug it in. That's something else. Down. Delete. Man, it really is a messy mess over here. Okay, so we're going to... Where do we want to do this? We got to put it like here. Because there's got to be a check somewhere. And where do you put... Where do we put... Are we an amphibious vehicle or not? It doesn't matter if we're in water yet, so it's got to be before that. Are we amphibious? Or, no, I guess we could put it in water. No, we could do that, actually. Yeah, put it right after, because that means we can limit ourselves to one Boolean check. Instead of two, always. Because if you're not in water, it's just going to, boom, false off and just drive, right? But if we check there and then check this, it's going to say no, no. But if we say no, then it's not going to do the other stuff. But if we say true... Okay, yes, we are in the water, but can we do this? Could you easily do it with a tag? It's funny you say that, because today in OZ256 with the examination beds, because I was having a... oh, that's another thing I did. That's having the UI pop up, because the beds and how they work the examination beds is a little tricky. So I was thinking of using a tag system like that. I was having a problem related to that, which I probably might use. But, great question. Well, hold up. Let's see. Because what actually makes us float? So do we even need to check at all, basically? Is basically the water force. But if the water force of the vehicle is... If the vehicle is not... Well, are we going to put a modification in? Because if we don't, if it's always set on the vehicle, then theoretically we don't even need to check to see if it's ever like that. Because if it's in the water, try to do the buoyancy stuff. No. Could we get, so we could get, can we? Self? Do we need to do, get a reference to self to check this? No, they do it here. Before you used to, like, in older Unreal Engine, before, I think Unreal Engine 4. But now they just put it where it autos to self. Even if it doesn't work. But this should work. Should be like, does actor have tag? Amphibious. So then if we... but do we even need a tag? Well, kind of, because if this does say it's in water, it's going to try to add force. Like, it's going to do logic when we don't want it to do it on an amphibious vehicle. Which won't do nothing, but it will be performing like it is. So, we don't want that. So we definitely need a branch right here off of this stuff. That's very important. Keep that in mind, because this is like, you're just drawing performance, and... If, like, because this is not just only going to happen when they're in the... So they're like, oh, I think this is amphibious. Goes right into the lake. Of course, so that's going to start triggering when they're in there. But we know how the lake starts. Unless we can figure out the boxes a little bit better, make them shape a little bit better. But there's always going to be that little edge. Or get into the water. It's going to say, yes, you're in the water. So then trigger it. So we don't want that. Not in it, but like on the outskirts. So it's like, okay, let me hurry up. Oh, going, like they kind of skirt the water edge, and it's like boom. Now it's starting to trigger, and they're like sitting right beside it, and they're not even realizing. A good example of this would be like, because I've seen this happen earlier, and people didn't know how to use the tanks. I mean, it's a great strategy, but it's like you kind of want to try to hide. Is that an HG on the town map, you would have the slopes into the water, and the tanks would kind of drive to the edge line and then shoot across over to so if you were to spawn at the police station on the vehicle, you'd be like, you would have that bridge, and you would spawn like under that bridge, and you would have to like drive out and around and do like a big turn to get over into the area they want to be with the vehicles, and the enemies would be right across trying to snipe you out as you immediately spawn, because you're like blocked visually. But then you go out, then you're seen, then they can shoot you. And the tank destroyers would sit there. We could do a tag. How could we do then a tag? Would it be better with a tag or Boolean? A tag, I would have to spawn it on the actor, but the actor, I could just say... Okay, we gotta finalize this. Is this gonna be a modification at all at some point? I would love it to be. But like... I'm gonna do some Google. Modern? What does it even really... It doesn't even matter for modern. It could be like futuristic vehicles. Battlefield 2042. One amphibious tank, or you want a non-amphibious tank? If you have an amphibious tank, you get certain debuffs. Now that's where I kind of forgot about that certain stuff, but that's okay. We haven't implemented that technology yet. Kind of hard to create if we don't have the loadout screen, but now we're getting closer, kind of like getting to that point where it's going to be easier to implement that. Where it's like, if you have this modification, it gives you buffs and debuffs. That's what we want. We have nothing that does anything like that, that changes the stats of the tank. Oh, wait. I don't think we even can we? We can't with the Chaos Vehicle. We can't change. Oh, no, we can't. That's right. We can't. I know people are gonna be upset, as like we are when they're gonna be like modding and be like, bro, why didn't they just use a different vehicle system? And then they're gonna mod their own vehicle system and it's gonna be better than ours. Where they can edit it on stuff. So stupid they do. Oh, that's so right. That's so annoying. That almost makes me want to. But here's the thing. All this like torque control, arcade control, we have to create the each logic for like. That's the thing you don't even. It's just oh, there's the settings. It doesn't just come with that. A developer had to create this logic to detect the yaw torque scaling, the yaw from steering, the yaw from roll torque scaling, the pitch, everything. We got to do that too. We got to implement some curves. It's like, okay, we're not... This is like expert level. The people who, of course, got to become an expert level to do this type of stuff to the Unreal Engine, right? That is on release, right? Those guys, we're not them yet, but we're getting there. We're like, you know what? We'll just edit the custom, you know, our engine, or the Unreal Engine to our needs. We're not there yet. But we're getting there, and that's really, really cool. And surprisingly, it almost feels like I think we're like halfway there already, which is really surprising. But thankfully, Unreal Engine is easy to understand and really helps. And a lot of great tutorials from a lot of the people who's helped us along the way. But Unreal Engine, with all this type of stuff, is awesome. And Sandbox just started to look now more like this and whatnot, which is really funny. So it's not just like... I really do believe it's a term. There is a new which makes sense, but it's a term where now development isn't like typing. It's more pressing a button or not, like this, or implementing something like this. There's a word for it, and that's new because that used to not be like that. And I believe this is the much better way because, like, why would you have to redo this each and every single time? Like, why do you have to rediscover math and recreate math every single time? Like, the foundation of, like, figuring all that out. So you don't do that. You just go, like, let me read a textbook. Oh, 2 + 2 = 4. I know how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you do it. But with engines, it's very, like, old school stuff. Very old school. But I love this type of way of... It's very easy to then grasp and be like, oh, greater than equal to, oh, boom, 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 Boolean checks. So for like this Boolean, I'm gonna allow it to be a modification. I'm kind of crazy with this. Normally people wouldn't do this, but I don't know how the Unreal Engine is gonna be in the future. Like, or, I don't know how you can edit this in the future. Like, I've done research, but like, theoretically, what can you do with a mod? I know it's a little annoying if you want a mod that's not officially supported. You have to like basically create a Unreal Engine project that is pseudo one-to-one to the game that you're creating. So if I was to go in the outer world, I would have to create an Unreal Engine project directory, like in here, the content directory, that matches what I'm trying to mod. So if I were to take one of those machines, I would have to go and match the directory of what those machine that is, which is, there's tools to figure that out. And then create my new asset there, export it, package it into like a pack, I think a pack file, and then put it into the game. And then it works. But if you want to do something else there, you got to do all of that crap. And people don't want to do that. People just want to inject stuff into it. So it's like, okay, if I don't make this as easily modifiable, Unreal Engine doesn't really allow that too well, which makes me think, well, I don't care if we're not really going to do that, but well, just in case if we do, we can, and so can others. So why not, when I could just simply add one Boolean structure? And that's kind of like my mentality I'm keeping with this. So we're going to do that. But then how are we going to do that? I'm going to be real quick and think about that. Sorry about that, sweaties. I'm back. And I thought of it. It's just gonna be a simple boolean. It's like, it just comes at the end of the day, just a simple bool. But now we got to put that in. Because I was thinking on how the loadout screen is going to implement that. It's like, okay, select it. Well, we're gonna see just how the buttons, I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess they're all gonna have to be unique. I don't know. That's gonna be annoying. Because the way that I populate UI, we're gonna have to create so many UI stuff, and that's just... I mean, well, technically, no. Well, how many modifications for vehicles? Barrel. Well, just whatever modification, different category, that's how many list views we're gonna have to make. Which is annoying. But it's annoying because I've had to do so many of those in UE5 Outbreak because of the research menu. But I know how to use them now. We need struct vehicle. No, not in the modifications. Wait, well, maybe. Tooltip, this is where the loadout, or this is where the modifications, this is where the modifications are. This is where the modifications are for vehicles. This is where anything the loadout screen. What like what do you, we don't know those category names or like the name for that. This is where anything, basically anything from the loadout screen data wise will change. This is where anything from the loadout screen. This is where... No, this is the data, I don't know what to call it, because we haven't done the modification, like, all that stuff, so I'm trying to, like, think of it right now, but... This is where the loadout... this is... Loadout... Vehicle... Data... Changes... happen. It's kind of like, because I don't, yeah, it's kind of generic for now until we go crazier with that. But then we'll just add the boolean because this would be kind of cool because it doesn't really need to be anywhere else. Well, two booleans. Try to spell this correctly. Amphibious. Is amphibious? Yes. And well, because that's like, how am I gonna like set this as data? Because then, no, I guess, because the button is going to have that data. So you click it, it enables it, which then clicks some, you know, like sets this to true. That's what it's gonna do. So while it does that, anytime that you're gonna be clicking that, if that ever is going to be a thing, it's also going to. Well, now I'm thinking, like, how... Wait, hold up. How am I going to get this... Technically, the system won't work. Because I gotta, like, set it. Like, plug it in. But we're not going to plug it in because we're going to have it where it's set via the things. Which is weird. But I guess it'll still be here. So, amphibious is... amphibious, or can reverse. So we need 2 of those. Save. Control Shift S first before going anywhere else. Prevents the pressures. Now we could go in this area. Get struct vehicle. Brake. Brake. And it's easy to access. Which would be like, is amphibious. Yes, then do it. Okay. What is this? Move forward? Move forward on completed. True. Then down here. Move this back. Paste. Is amphibious. Yes. And... oh, amphibious, yes. And... can reverse. Yes. No? Then you can't. And then we don't have to complete it for this one? No, just a handbrake. Yeah. There we go. Now, since this is in here, that sets the, if it drives forward and backwards, that's all it needs. If it gets that data. Which means... so like, okay, so if it has that data, how... so those 2 booleans are going to be false. Like, we're not going to set that through the loadout screen, so we get in with an amphibious vehicle, it's not going to work if we set that data, because it could return false. So, how do we turn that on? We're going to have another boolean. But then this is like an external, like, game mode boolean. If, amphibious modifications is allowed. If so, then it will override anything from the loadout screen. If not, then it's going to use whatever we set in the vehicle area. Like this, the blueprints. Because... yeah, it will just overwrite the data. Now, I want this to be a thing. It's just a simple check. Where would this check be then? What am I trying to do? Set the information? How do we set the information again? We spawn... where? Is it in... oh, this is the... weapon shoot. Yeah, it's right here. So we go in... that's right. So we set information afterwards. Which would be this. That means anything within that. So it would be here. Whatever this logic would be. It would be... well, if we set... hold up. Okay, that's a little bit of a problem, because it's not that easy. Because if we set... how do we know this vehicle, this, like, actor has this specific... information? Like... because I will be like, okay, then we'll make the structure, and then we'll fill in the areas and say it is amphibious. But that doesn't work like that, because it's not every vehicle's gonna be amphibious. Only certain ones will be amphibious, and then can drive backwards. So then the question is, well, we could technically modify that information. So, like, theoretically with the loadout screen, how do you buy a tank? Not modifications, how do you buy the vehicle? So you buy the vehicle via the thing. So you click, it gives you that information of like the structure information. Okay, then it puts it in here. Adds it into this array structure of all your vehicles. Okay, the specific type. So it could be in different categories, and it's easy to sort, so we don't have to do any logic later to sort them. And if they have to be separate things, they can be, like blueprints. So to be like, so the button would have information about the tank or the vehicle. So this vehicle, I'm thinking about the amphibious vehicle. So for the store, we will make the so like that's the interesting thing that I don't know how that's going to work with servers. That's what makes like servers basically almost impossible, is the loadout screen. Because then each server, but that's funny. Well, that's right, because that's, if you technically are going to have a war server, not just like a hell loose type, you're going to have a loadout screen system for your server, for if you want a war server type thing, because that's when you go in. No matter if you're playing skirmish, you're always in the same war server, so you can immediately go into the other one with all your information and data. And the reason why I know, well, unless they make it hidden, but I don't think so, because when you kind of load in, especially before they remove the screen, this is why I know, because before they remove the screen where like they asked you to choose which war server you want to join, when they had that many people, like Foxhole, where they have different war servers, and so like you would join it, but they're like, well, we don't need for two war servers, everybody's just going to join this, so just auto put them into that. Which means that you're in a server always, not in the server, because you would have to be put into that. But there's like, their system asked you before getting into the loadout screen. So it'd be weird for them to add that in the middle when you got queued into the match, or into the war server, or war servers. So like the button information, like all that information is so interesting, because I don't know how that stuff is going to work at all. And especially even with servers in general, because like how with this type of game, it's almost impossible unless we give them somehow the capabilities of doing that, which is possible some way. I just don't know how it's going to be, and how like they will have reign over that specific part. I don't know. That's why it's like, I want to, well, even if we can't do it like any modded or like servers or modded servers, we're giving ourselves so much modular ability that it helps us too. So that's great. I'm just trying to think, like, would it be there? Like, we would have to have something in the game mode on that button that would have to be a branch to check, are we having modifications to sell? Yes, then, or no. If it's no, then that's like the swimming amphibious vehicle, right? Like the German one I'm thinking about. So boom. Okay, so it says no. It goes in, and then auto puts that information in there in that moment. Because theoretically, well, hold up. Would you ever... that's actually interesting, because yeah, if we do put it in that menu, theoretically that could be a problem if you try to do a like hello loose thing, maybe? I don't know. Because like, how would that work? Like a hello loose type server. Like you're using your... Like you're in the war server, you're using that stuff, but in this custom match, basically. So like, you leveled up in the war, you got your Yag Panther, your buddies want to play a little thing, now you go into, with like, I don't know, 20 people, set up an event, or plus, and then you bring your Yag Tiger into that, or Yag Panther, or Tiger, into that match. That's kind of how that would happen. Which means so like, all that stuff would affect that. So then, how is a war server going to have So I guess how we're gonna have the war server of like Star Wars, you know, what someone would try to do, and have them have the war menu, and then also populate your own map. You know what I mean? It's like they have like their own version of the game, basically. But it's also literally how Gary's mod is anyway. So it's like, it's not a problem. But the problem is, I guess if you were to have a war server, you know, you got that set up, you won't do custom matches. You got to have a separate thing set up. Because, or maybe not. Just like, how would you go in that? You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, oh, dude, I want to play custom, because that's kind of cool. I want to play on the Star Wars custom match mode. I want to play in that server. I want to play in this. All right, come join. Boom, 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 boom. You know, doing that thing. Or is it just staying there? Does that really affect? Hold up. Does that really affect what we're doing right now? Yes, because of the buttons. Because it makes it possible or not. And we just don't have it set up, so I gotta be really thinking of right now. Imagine it. Which thankfully I got good imagination, so I can think of it pretty easily. Like, imagine it pretty easily. It's really tricky if I don't fully understand it, which the button stuff is pretty annoying, but I kind of understand. The list view one. So I'm thinking in the way of list views, but either way, we're gonna have the information passed on to the button. That button has certain information. Boom, click, then populates the land array. Same thing with weapons. Or equipment. So if I think about the land is going to... Yeah, it would be in the game mode. And it would be in that button, in that game mode. So like, get game mode, the war game mode, is it this? Because then if another person has that, they can go into the game mode and then change that boolean. Which then will then say auto-populate. Actually, I'm just trying to think, look, well, how is the list view going to know both information? Because it's got to know both. It's got to know the auto information, which is, we got the swim wagon. So we got, it can go swim, you know, be amphibious and go backwards. But it's also got to know, like, let's just say a war server, that dude was like, all right, well, not a swim wagon, maybe they changed the models, or they fully made their own. The same thing is going to happen where, okay, we want an amphibious vehicle. Okay. And we want a modification for it, and I want them to try to allow for it. They enable that, which then we would have to have other UI in the loadout screen to then be enabled, which is easy. Like, set visibility, visible. That easy. But the thing of, okay, we must just have, I guess in that button, or in each one button, we're going to have like those variables in there, basically. And it's a branch, hey, do we have this game mode setting enabled? Yes. Modifications are enabled. Amphibious modifications are enabled? Yes. Then that button, if you try to click it, we won't get a thing, or you won't have it automatically amphibious. Because that data on the structure, if passed through over to the vehicle, which it would be in the game, it won't be amphibious because you don't have the modification, because it's just a simple Boolean check. This is why we gotta visualize this in our brains, because this wouldn't be done here. It would be done way beforehand in loadout, or even before, well, loadout in like something like that, or in the buy or the loadout button, like modifications, or the buy button. But we're trying to have both because we want it to be a modification or not. So if that is enabled over there, that allows it, then fills the information with blank information for then the player to then get that modification, click it, buy it, and have it. Outright. Or not outright, but like they get the thing, doesn't have it, buy it, now they have it, equip it, go in. And if we have anything that has like buffs and debuffs, like, okay, equip that, but what you kind of can't. I would want to be like, well, increase your mass. Well, we can't, because you can't change the mass of the vehicles. Unless we create our own custom vehicle system, like the kinematic stuff, but we lose all the other stuff. The, like, cool stuff of the chaos, which is really nice. So, that's unfortunate. And that's kind of the only argument where I'll be like, well, we maybe should go into the other one, so then we can easily set the mass and all that stuff. So it probably won't be buffs and debuffs. It would just be the straight up, you have the ability or not. That's kind of what's going to be. Buffs and debuffs can work. I guess it could work, technically. Like, we can have, like, values that, like, somehow affect here more so, because there's, like, well, here, check if it has buff values. Nope. Okay, then just continue. If check have debuff, then if it does, or whatnot, do it. But yeah, so that would be in there. So I want to that would be in the game mode, right? Get game mode, war, yes. So this would be. Do I have a GM? No. War. Yes. So in here, add variable is amphibious mods enabled. And that's it. And then we'll check in that button, which enables the other two booleans that would be in there, which, because it would be like branch, then we would have it there to be set with that information. So it immediately has it or doesn't. Yes. And then here, once you bring in that information, it should check properly. And also with the reverse. Yes. Okay. All good. We just haven't done the loadout screen. Let me write that down. Loadout screen. Where would this be again? It would be in the... Not the modifications. It would be in the item. Enabled. Vehicle. To have where'd I put it? Oh yeah, the amphibious and is can reverse. And is can reverse. So okay. Set by default or by amphibious. Great. Also create a logic that enables / pulls amphibious Vehicle mod category loadout full info screen. Yes. Save. That's definitely one you would forget. Okay. So we have that. Vehicle information. The game mode. So what do we, is it enabled? No. And we might even enable it in the end. And you know what? Hey, functionality, baby. So wait, what does this do here? Oh, I think we're just good, but wait. How do I make... So now since it's not... Because again, this is all by, we're gonna be setting the information. Then that information gets brought into the game where then you do that stuff. Always remind that, because that's the trick that we're using here to bring the information in so we don't have to edit anything or do anything else in the actual level. We do it all on the loadout screen. And since if you buy the button, does that, saves that, it's always going to be there type stuff unless you delete it, like delete the character. Could you do that in HG? I forget if you could. I never tried. I never even looked into that. I was like, I'm not deleting none of them. But now with, yeah, so the vehicle, this one. So what's our problem? Well, the problem is I haven't set any information technically, right? Yes. Theoretically, I have no vehicles. This, actually, yeah. So this BP vehicle, we won't use this one at all in the level. We won't spawn this one. We never will spawn this one. It is the child blueprints from the BP vehicle that we'll spawn. Up on the top right-hand corner should say BP vehicle. If we do make like BP vehicle Jeeps, then it would be like that, and then we copy that, and if you want to make a Jeep type vehicle, make it off of that. If we go that route, we haven't tried that yet, but that's how that would work. So theoretically, we have no vehicle in the game. Of course, it's all prototype, but even more so now, because there's no information here for us to kind of just test. Because, well, there is, and I fake it via the data table. So the data table gives us that information in here that I've already set, because it's not easy just to set this, because it's a data table. And I wish it was easy to kind of do that. Actually, is there? Oh no, it did take... Oh, this copy all properties and category does bug out. Oh, but yo, if you didn't know, I've been using this more. So I do a lot of right click, left click. Dude, you can right click, hold shift, because if you want to, especially copy and paste, like Control C, Control V, I use that a lot. You can just hold shift, right click. And to paste, you just left click. So shift, right click, I just copied it. And I can shift, left click on the paste to do that. It's really nice, really smooth. I'm using that a lot now. For those type of things, which is like a lot with like vectors, which is super nice. Like just a line of it, like the location, shift, right click, nice. Go on the other one, shift, left click. Super nice, especially multi-monitored helps, because I can have it over here and just go over it, click. But even if, you know, a single one it can work, but so if we wanted this vehicle, because this vehicle, I just added the modification, cannot be amphibious. That means let's test that theory that, like, I got this working. It shouldn't work, because it's not enabled. Nothing else sets it. Vehicle shouldn't go into the, or should go into the water. Goes in. Oh, that's a probably no. Wait, why is he doing that? We can't move because it's working, but we can't move because... Where is it? pressing... Weird. Wait, so I just spawned the BP vehicle? Okay, whatever. Oh. Okay, so you know why we're stopping? Because it was checking and falsing out here. What we have to do... Where's our other thing? Right here. So what we just got to do is plug in here. Yeah. Easy fix. So, like, is it amphibious? No. Then do what we want to originally do, which is continue moving. Easy fix. Then we go in. See, this is why we check it, because, like, if we didn't check that, that would have gone right over our heads. And if we had, like, proper beta testers, then it saves a lot of their time. They can get us, like, the proper bugs. So, yeah. Which is really true. Imagine that. You fix all those little bugs all the time they have, they're going to fix all the other stuff. Or look for it. Also, did I just get extra speed there? Was that how fast this tank is? I don't know. Is that how fast the tank is? Well, we did get a lot of momentum on the downhill. Yeah, why did we go faster? Wait, we did go faster. Is it because... Is that how that works? No way. Unreal Engine physics is like that... crazy? I wonder why. Is that really how that works? Oh, but oh no, anytime you're next to water, you're just gonna like freeze like that. So if you're trying to go like, try to dodge, oh yeah, you go to try to dodge shots like this. Boom, misses. You go right next to the water. Oh no, dude. Boom, melee stops, guy shoots you. That sucks. We're gonna have to get rid of that. All good. I don't think we really even need that. I think theoretically this was our max tank speed. And just our acceleration is way slower now. So when we get up to the max acceleration, that is our max speed. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm just making sure that there was no extra thrust being added. No, look how fast we're going. It's gonna be so... It's gonna be so cool. Well, this is kind of like a first time of us kind of just going about like this on a vehicle. Yeah, this is the first test of like this. So you see why it's super important for me to figure out the time. You see how fast we're going? This might be the speed of a Jeep. A little bit like slower than this. So like, top heavy. Oh. No! We crashed! Crap. Now that's gonna happen a lot and people are gonna get so upset, but hey. Unreal Engine physics. The mass of the chaos vehicle. Oh no. More is like, well, yeah, because if we do go for like a Havoc engine physics, because we can bring in the Havoc physics, which is in a lot of popular games that have physics. It's the Havoc physics. But I bet you if we bring in Havoc physics, the chaos physics is not going to work. Or it's going to work and we're going to have two physics systems working. And that sounds incredibly crazy. But I think it wouldn't work because the chaos wheel system would have its map, so it would overwrite the mass that we would be able to then change of the vehicle, like the whatchamacallits. That I don't even think the physics asset weight stuff even changes anything. I don't know, we could test more with that. How can I test that? We could test that real quick. Let's test that real quick. Theoretically, that should be easy. You know why? Oh, not this one. Let me show you. So if we go into the physics asset, we can take... Which one? Maybe the back.
say this. Shogun on the dead, script encoded operations, strategic. With an Okinawan basis, an open conversation with Shinobi god of ancients.
Here, and maybe add it to like that. Now, does it add it to all? No, but to just those ones, which are 19 parts. So I guess we'll see. Maybe. That one did kind of fall heavier. I feel like I'm faster. I am. Huh? I am faster.
Yeah. Check.
What?
Check. Yeah. Spent my whole life to earn 100 grand for Uncle Sam.
Maybe I'll just say it for all of them.
We're probably not due to inflation, but fuck it, man. The son of man, blood of a lamb. I ain't Satan. If I don't make it, I'll start a cover band specializing in the summer jams. But on the other hand, the greatness I must face it, I don't understand. Living in the city, it really ain't no winter wonderland. What up, fam?
Yeah, why is it kind of going fast? Uh-oh. We found the bug. Yo, Battlefield 5 bug. Actually, this is like Battlefield 4, 3. It's their physics engine. And you know what's unfortunate with those type of stuff? The engine, each project that they have, you know, like Unreal Engine, you don't think about it until you realize. So Unreal Engine, we got our different projects, right? So we can do our fixes for the engine in this project. They got to do that every single time for all the unfortunate bugs in each one of the games. A lot of game studios have that problem. Because they just Bethesda does that. Every Bethesda game has the exact same bugs because they don't fix the core, they just fix the project. And so each team has to redo and refix each bug over and over for each new project. But the developers don't care. You know why? Because they're not the same people. They get laid off. So it's a different person doing it each time. Feels bad. But that did kind of result in some weird stuff, so I don't know. Now, if I put it back to 500, is it, like, better? No, I think I'm just... The vehicle, I think, just felt faster, but it's not. Now we're gonna get that, like, weird bug that we had there. Doesn't look like it. So the mass... Oh... That's right. No. Remember? The physics asset is moving. It's just like the wheels. The wheels can go under. That's what happened there. So it probably like went in, clipped under the world, and like sprung us up into the thing. Because like these blocks are so heavy that it's like bending off the frame. But that doesn't affect our overall mass and weight. Why? Because we're using the chaos. That's why I think the Havoc system wouldn't work. Alright. So no, so we can't just change like that. It's really annoying because I would really love to do that. That's actually upsettingly annoying. Like, we just can't? It almost makes me want to kind of do that. But it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we can't set any... We can't make it weight, like, heavier. We can possibly make... Maybe make it slower. Nope, we just get gets. That is pretty limiting. That's crazy to me. So, but here's so if we do change a vehicle system, all the core logic we have here would be the same. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a different thing or not. It would just be a little bit different. Alright, now we got the vehicle. Vehicle has its structure information. Vehicles can technically be different vehicles if they have the information. And the default set information of, like, can it be amphibious is not going to be in here. It's going to be in the actual structure, which then can be modified via the loadout screen and whether you have that stuff or not. Yes. Now, I'm trying to think in cases where you wouldn't have the loadout screen information. And it's really like if we're gonna have custom games, HNG didn't have custom games. But if it would be a custom game, you're using your loadouts. What else are you using? We could have per custom lobby loadouts, which I guess is kind of cool. Yeah, because I could see, like, if the game really did pop off, there would be people, like, trying to organize events and be like, dude, wouldn't it be cool, you know, developers, bros, set it where we can have everybody have the mouse tank. I don't want to have to unlock it, bro. Come on. You know, they'll be like that. So it's like, oh, no. And it's such a great idea, too. Which... no. That's a great idea. How is that gonna work? I don't know. Well, actually, that could be a setting. Whether to use your loadouts or not. And if not... See, I come from a background of Gary's Mod, Halo custom games, loved Halo custom games. Playing them, creating them, forging them. Like, when Forge came out, loved that stuff so much. So, I'm thinking in the terms of that, like, okay, you're going to have a settings menu like Halo. Turn the game mode on and off on certain ones. And you're going to have all those options, which theoretically, if you do, just like Halo, you would have those options. So what would you do? It wouldn't really be... Well, the menu would be kind of crazy to figure out, but it would be... It would have to be another structure we'd have to create somewhere. Because... yeah, it would have to be a temp structure on the character or something like that. On the player, like, on the blueprints, because if you spawn in... Or if you're like, I want to use my own custom loadouts, I want to give everybody Yag Panthers. Let's fight. But then it's like, do we even give them that? Because then that's going to kind of... I mean, I don't know. Does that sour the pot a little bit? Like, It's interesting. Coming from the terms of a developer, of a developer, you understand the concerns they could have as a developer. And people, some don't really fully think through that, and I feel like that's a problem. Like... if this was basically every other game studio, they would not really ever consider that possibility. Because if they really want it and want to do that, they got to go earn it. And which makes them want to play more and stuff, because they can't play on it unless they earn it. And yes, that's true. But... in reality, if you look at all the games that do that stuff, the people who don't want to do that stuff don't end up doing it. And they just get upset about it. Like, it's not... like, there will be that small percentage of where it would, like, force them in a way, like, yes, you can't play in your custom games mode unless you earn it. Like, okay, that sounds cool. It sounds like a nice idea. But... when you're really thinking, like, this is going to be party events, that's different. You know what I mean? In my opinion. It's like... yeah, Halo Custom Games Mode. Like, You can set up everybody use snipers only, stuff like that. I don't want to say that's going to be the same thing. I don't know how we're going to do that things, but I could easily imagine we could say, hey, Team 1, Team 2. Team 1 is allies. Team 2 is the Axis. You know, that type of stuff. Easy. So, and like, who's defenders, attackers, that, right? Boom. So we easily can determine what type of stuff that they could then carry via that, because of how our system works. So it's really not complicated of setting the loadout on each player, because we have the structure of how the game would then be of the factions and the sub factions to then give you that stuff and set that stuff. It would just have to be an interesting menu on how that would be actually proper and easy to add and remove. Like, how would you add tanks onto a person's loadout, or planes on, like, USA? What planes, what vehicles? Is it only snipers? Is it this? Is it that? But the thing is like, okay, so if you have people coming in, let's say a streamer comes in, because streamer comes in, like I say, worst case scenario, because you will not just get people who play the game, you'll get a completely brand new, all coming in for that experience. So if they're like, let's go, oh wait, we can't, they don't just go, all right, let's go grind it. A lot of people don't do that. And so having to be like, you can't play the special equipment that you have to earn unless you get it, like unless you earn it. Then you look at a game like War Thunder. War Thunder has the preview ability for a lot of the things. I think it used to be on every single one, but then they changed it where I think you can't preview so if you haven't leveled up to the tank, you can't test it. I think that's okay. But weirdly, they allow, which, not weirdly, you know why, which is smart, and it's a true thing. They allow you to test every single premium vehicle that you can only buy with money. Every single one you can test, no matter what level you are. You could test the most modern plane that's pay to win, boat, or anything. So you could get into the max tier right now and see how the max tier is with modern vehicles via the premium vehicles. And I've done that a few times because I wanted to like test some of that stuff. And it's really fun and makes me want to grind more for it. Instead of like, okay, the equipment, is it really fun? Like, if you have someone who questions, do I really want to do that? You give them a little taste test. It's a really good taste test. They're probably going to give the money. That's why they do that. It's a little bit more scummy for War Thunder in the way that you really understand that stuff, because that's literally what that is. Give me a little taste test. Tastes good. Maybe I spend $5 for it. Maybe. It was so fun. And imagine what you could do with it. We could just get a bird, take a plane, just going down like, you know, just $5 or $10. But for those are actually like $30. But still, right? We're not trying to do that. There is nothing like that. And our preview mode would then be the custom games. Because there would be no other way besides campaign, if we ever had campaign, that you would experience any other equipment unless you play in skirmish, which is against other players. Like, in battles, not custom games. So it's like, hey, if we have the mouse tank, if we have modern equipment, yo, get your A10 Warthog, use it against the mouse. You know what I mean? It's like, sure. And I think that's no problem. And those people who get in or be like, bro, dude, this game is actually really sick. You know, from like the streamer events or like you got your buddy who's like, I just download the game. How good is this? All right, let me go try this. Boom. Yo, this is actually pretty fun. And they would the only way we can make that, oh, that's really fun, is to actually make it fun, make it good and worthwhile. And I think with the system that we're building, the stuff that we're taking, and the precautions that we're taking with the vehicle system, I think is going to give us those results when we allow them to have whatever rules that they're setting up. I think that's fine. Call of Duty has done it before. Like, everyone's done it. It's always positive results. But you have games where you can't test it. You can't, like, technically test it. You can preview, like, skins, but can you actually test the skin in battle? It's like, no. But people would probably want to do that. Like, there's positives and negatives on that, but I think there's more positives for a game like that. So this could be a little bit tricky, but I think that's because with the vehicle, or with whatever that's going to be, the reason why I forethought this is because this is part of the, it's spiderweb analogy. It's all a part of the same thing. So what we're really directly connecting is one of the main strands to the center of the spiderweb, and really making sure that I'm thinking ahead on that. And with the vehicle system, on how we would like set, or like get the information and then set the information, we would have another structure that would have the, I guess maybe the temp structure, the temp player profile information of like vehicles, equipment, and stuff for the custom games, which includes the vehicles. So how would the vehicles work in that? Which means the vehicles gotta make sure they work anywhere, because if we try to bring this in now, we can't. And the only way you would be able to bring it in is from the loadout screen, because we have no temp thing at all. But what if I just create that now, I guess? Because we need to start having information like that to help us here to spawn stuff. We don't have a spawning thing. Maybe we go for that now. I don't know, because yeah, a spawning system wouldn't... Because what I'm basically to be doing is creating the spawning system in ways where it's like, okay, I get that information, fill it in with the tanks I want to spawn and test. And if it's like, if I'm going to do that, do I want to try to create the loadout? Like, or the respawn screen? Technically, it is the loadout screen, but that's the respawn screen. The loadout screen is the main screen. What's the main stuff that I'm trying to test here? Well, it's really just anything from this point on. Yeah. So I think... What else I wanted to do the fog. And then we have damage volumes underneath the water as well. Because if your vehicle's not amphibious, you're going to go into water and it's going to look like underwater. Would be easy to use the cheat menu to simulate the loadout screen. Ooh. Great idea. Yes. Do we create that? I wanted to make admin stuff. Do we try to just put that into the admin stuff? But that would be weird. Because I don't know how that would, like, universally work. Like, I want people to be able to have, like, staffing stuff immediately at, like, it's crazy how loose. I thought how loose had, like, all the stuff out of the gate. Bro, that's crazy. The new team had to go in and add that stuff. But it makes sense. Black Matter was on a schedule. They had no choice. They played it perfectly. But it's unfortunate and kind of crazy when you think about it. Because, like, I don't know how that would be. That would be, like, that'd be weird if it's an admin thing. Cheat thing, or like a... Yeah, cheat menu, dev menu. Boom, get in. It's just like, okay, set loadout, sets data. But I guess that's how it would do. Anyways. Or we would have to go through the whole server. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because there is some... I forget which one it was. Something with the vehicle. I think I wanted... One. I remember wanting to test. Because when we learned, you do have to go through the whole thing to test certain... the whole server menu created, join it, so you can test certain features. Because they only work in that state of play. For certain multiplayer replication stuff, which is crazy. So that would help. That would help. And minimize that annoyance. Okay. I kind of want to make that an admin menu, though. That would be kind of cool. If you were an admin in the server, But how would that work, though? Okay, hold up. I'm thinking Garry's Mod terms of a single map, but they potentially could have war map level stuff. But it doesn't really matter because it would have the same ability in every map. Because they would be like the staff members. It'd be like one of us going through our own maps. And I don't know how we're going to regulate those menus, because we are going to have tools. We have to like bop some fools out if we're going to be some dummies. And then there's going to be other issues too. But the thing is, we're going to have to moderate that, which is easy with manual labor, like people. But you could also say it's easy when you do AI stuff. I kind of don't want to do that though. For the reasons that like that all gets fed back, which is I guess okay, but it's just I don't know. Me being me, I'm more old school with that. I'd rather like let's go hire some people to go through the servers and do that, or we're gonna have a report system, of course. But to actually have someone there is a completely different thing. If it's a Hell Loose type server, it's easy because they will just swap maps. But it's basically the same thing. I'm just thinking of an RTS screen that's super huge because people would be like, yeah, let's use the game Europe map, but it's so many dots and their wars start so late that people would be like, well, that's impossible. So then they're going to create their own maps, and their own maps can be smaller than the war maps, so then their maps can actually be engaged. Or they somehow can change the amount of neutral maps there is on the war map, so then the actual starting lines are way closer, so it's only like 2 neutral maps you got to get through before you can actually technically engage with the enemy side and start a war match. Because then the person who's a staff person would then join that. They'll be able to join any of the ones, join in. Even if there's like max population in the match, we can probably save a slot or 2. So if it's like 60 players max, whatever the max is, we'll put 1 or 2 extra slots for those people to be able to go in at any time. Then they go in and they can change their loadout at any time and go play or whatnot. But it's really mainly for like testing purposes, and everybody else would basically abuse it. But it's kind of like Garry's Mod though. Like there's so many powerful tools, but no one really abuses them. And if they do, you leave the server and you tell people about that and they don't play that server. And then the server owner's spending money each month for people that are playing nothing. Then he shuts down the server. So that's just how that is. So if they do abuse, then it's like, screw you, see ya. We won't abuse. If they do, our own moderators, screw you, see ya. Yeah, like that's not tolerated whatsoever. But it does allow us to do test specific stuff because we want to be able to do any of that at any time. We plan to add more. It's not just like this is. It's got to be something where we got to like customize it, where it's not just a sniper loadout, like sniper loadout button. No, it's got to be a. Well, yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness, are we gonna have to create like a save system for that? Because now I'm thinking about it, it'd be best to actually do that. Like create a button, you create an actual loadout, save it. And then wherever you are, it's got that save, click it, and boom, you can use it. That'll be cool. I'm just thinking of so many cool mechanics, but that's gonna be complicated. It's not really complicated, it's just like, I'm gonna have to create like a... Fill in your name, fill in this, fill in the date, like those type of things. So you fill in all that stuff, boom, create it, boom, remembers that, boom, you're easy. And then it'll be one where you can just give yourself stuff at that time. Yeah. So do we start? Okay, then the question is, do we start on that now? What's most important? We're hitting a... This is a really important milestone right now in the project. What's the best thing that we should do? Well, if we're going to have... Well, the tools are going to be for us. We don't know if there's going to be actual servers type and like moderation type stuff. So either way, the tools that we will have will be great, and we can limit them if we don't want the server guys to have all of them. So regardless, again, our stuff, like it's really great because it's not just like we're making everything on launch, no additions whatsoever. If that was the case, it wouldn't really be that useful. It would, but only in development. But it's not just only gonna be development. It's gonna be for all of that stuff, even if there's no like custom servers and stuff, right? And that'd be very beneficial for testing, doing all that stuff on our own stuff and in live instances if we need to, of like actual servers. I think so, but well, hold up. Let me write that down. Okay. Because I wanted to first go on the fog. Fog or 5. Is it just a fog thing? I know it's just fog, but is it local? Actor use position local fog? I think so. This guy's making his like own material. Okay. Do we have to? Fog. We don't want height. We want just a local. But it's got to be all under this, which could be weird. Does it work? Pressing G, can I not see it in like... Oh, I see it. Oh, weird, it's half sphere. And it goes away when you're in it. Which is what you want, but we want it like closer, so how do you get it closer? Like evolve? It's exponential life fog. And what is local fog? There really no other good settings for this? That's crazy. And then they put in fog. But it's a hype fog. Yeah, no. Delete. Definitely the local fog. But why offset? That's that. That really... There's no way that's enough. Why is your fog weird? I don't remember this fog being this, like, annoying. It definitely has changed. Where is... There's no other settings. So, what do we do? Like, that's cool. That's cool, we can kind of have fog on the water. Yeah, I want it. Yeah, I guess it's just expanded. Looks like everything needs to be scaled or rotated. Try rotation. What would be better? Rotate it like that or like this? But yeah, I guess we just increase it. Interesting. But it's like, I want this to be here. there's the height, there's density, there's offset. There's density. I guess, wait, get the other one? Is there? Dart distance? Like, I don't... So this is for everywhere? Okay. Need to change it. So how to make underwater fog in Unreal 5? Set because it thinks this because of the bounds.
The other downside is that it's not a double-sided texture. I try to play around with it quite a bit and still haven't figured it out yet, so I might have to replace the ocean with a new project that I found in Marketplace. Package that comes with everything that I need. And it even comes with acoustics. And if I were to apply that to the light source itself, look that I'm trying to achieve, only in the water, try that, and we're back to level. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in this exponential high fog, and I'm gonna bring it down below.
Yeah, so I guess, well, that's one way. But this kind of works too. It's just there's no like how to use fog in Unreal. Might be like a height exponential. Yeah. Fog made easy. That's what we can win.
Local fog volume, so I'm going to left click on this and you'll see this pop up inside of your viewport. So if I start moving it further away, now you can see we're starting to get a local fog volume. And I can make this a little bit larger, interact with our terrain a little bit more, maybe even start to art direct the fog that's inside of here. And then I'm going to reset this back up to 1, and then right here where it says fog height distribution, we get our fall off here, in which I'm going to put this back down to 0, and then we can do a fall off offset like so.
I wonder if it's because, wait, hold up. Where's the sphere? I don't see it. Okay.
So right, every time we do tutorials like this.
Okay, so there's no settings like that. Cool. That's pretty crazy. Let's copy paste. Delete. But it's crazy. This got to be on the whole map. Dude, I've done better I don't know why this is like this. I mean, hey, we're figuring this out. One step at a time here. And we will continue. But, like, hey, can you, like, hey, show me where the fog is? Is it, like, below? Because I don't have, like, post-processing? Right, because, like, that's how, like, this fog stuff works. It just kind of sucks. If I can't just, like, turn a setting and see immediate change, I think that sucks. Sorry. If I can't just be like, dial change, and see and know how to use this, it's not me, right? Because, like, I'm not seeing no changes whatsoever, which is pretty crazy. Like, I understand it's, like, going everywhere, but it's not working the way I would want it. Which then will mess up the map because of all that stuff. Wait, so what do you do? What? Underwater. So crazy that this is like troublesome. Maybe this video? Maps.
Hello, welcome back. My name's Charlie, and today you don't see through it at all. And you can also change the ray.
So we get to do some crap like that? Really?
This is going to be what video games have been doing for the past few decades. The way we can sort of expand upon this is in.
Okay, so that's doo-doo. Just saying. So Unity has a better fog system. Just like click, boom, it does that like what we want it to do. We get to create this whole material. My goodness. Or is hold up. Fog. There's no way. I cannot believe that. I mean, well, there is. Be careful what you wish for and say. Yeah, like, why does that go away so quick? Let me change the setting right here. But they don't. Crazy. It's actually weird to me. So weird to me. I cannot believe that. Yeah. And with exponential height fog, I don't get what I want. So what I kind of want is a depth mask post-process.
And you can also keep that there. You're going to make it. We're going to go to its details. They just flat out don't work.
Okay, so then the Unreal Engine depth mask. Unreal Engine 5. We were just messing with the fog a few streams ago. Allows you to selectively apply visual effects to objects based on their depth relative. Right, I would create that. Filter, use meshes as masks. I don't care about that. That's great. I guess let's go to work on this. So, what is he giving?
Features, post-process materials, array, add an element. Then you're going to choose asset reference. Then you're going to choose whatever we just called our thing. So ours was post_process fog. And also in our post-process volume, we're...
That's what it is. Well, it's one of them, but why don't they just add that here? Weird. If I made this engine, I'm putting it in. So I need a post process. That's what it is. It's a post-process volume. I don't see the balance. Oh, there you go. I was wondering why I could see it. Hey, what's up, Cheryl? How you doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Oh, what? Oh, that's right. Extend this out a little bit. Just as a rough estimate. Okay. So we're into here. And this is where we still gotta, like, make it look like that, right? Now, this guy was like, here's a cheap option.
Going to search BT, process, drag post-process volume into the level.
Okay.
Looks like this little cube. You might
I knew
already
it was like
be
something.
So that's great. If you're not, then you're gonna keep that there. You're gonna make a new material here. We're gonna call this post-process fog.
Do I have one? Well, I guess we'll just go with the flow. I don't know where I would make this. Assets, blueprints. No materials? Which process? Right? Yes, then go in here, then be in here next. Material? Okay.
And then in this post-process volume, we're going to click it, we're going to go to its details and search MAT, M-A-T, and you'll see rendering features, post-process materials, array, add an element, then you're going to choose asset reference, then you're going to choose whatever we just called our thing. So ours was post_process fog. To search bound, and we're going to click infinite post-process material. This is an abridged version of my one. This is my cell shader up here. I have a tutorial on how to make that. So this can be applied after
Bring this over.
the cell shader, which is handy because if you've ever used a cell shader before, you would know that volumetric effects suck with a cell shader. They just flat out don't work sometimes. So let's just pretend this doesn't exist for a minute, and we'll just work with this part. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get a thing called depth fade. You're going to set the opacity as 1. We're going to set the fade distance to, let's say, like 20,000. And we're going to get a lerp node, linear interpolate. This is going to be the alpha of the lerp. We're going to plug the output of the lerp into emissive color, the B slot. This is going to be our fog color, and into the
B slot. Okay. No. Going to the alpha.
A slot, we're going to get scene texture. We're going to go down.
Scene texture. You're just bopping this. Scene texture.
To the bottom left. I'm going to go down to the bottom left, and we're going to grab post-process input 0.
Input 0?
And this is going to go into the A. Now, if we save this and look at our world, we've done it. We're done. That's the effect. You can see.
What's your problem? Well, I don't have... Wait, hold up. He's got a different thing. He didn't show which one. What is this? Translucent?
I'm sorry, sir, but your golden ticket is
Mask?
not valid. If I seem a little crazy, it's probably because
Hold
I
up.
am
Does
emotionally
cam
unavailable.
blocks?
All I need is the jam on my bagel. This is not a fable, it's a scam. Take you by the hand. Wait, are you an angel?
I don't think it really matters.
Labels gon' snap, connected, where the heart binds. Take your fake hair.
Oh, no, it kind of has to, right?
My archive, my far side. For in the future when my heart dies, I can spark minds and
Crap, he hides it.
holy shit,
He should have made it his own, just on a separate. That's why you don't do on custom stuff.
I am the sign of the new. I of Anubis. Decipher hieroglyphs.
Okay,
Music, I exist through it. Desire to do it with no regret. So grotesque. I don't really care what your omen says.
Scene expressions. Can I use processor input? Scene color is in post-process domain. Materials. What? Scene texture expressions cannot use post-process inputs or scene color in a non-post-process domain. Okay, so it's a post-process. That's it. Right? Then now we have orthometric values between type float 3. Okay. Did he put something there?
From a
Well, okay, so he just took this away. Oh, he did.
Is instead of just like a parameter from a material parameter collection called fog color. If you don't know what a material parameter collection is, it's basically just a collection of parameters which can be accessed in any blueprint, in any material, all at the same time. And if you change the value of it, it changes it for every material that you use.
Oh, do I get a linear interpolate? Where do I do that? But 3 and 4 node linear interpolate. But 3 and 4. Oh, hey, have you ever made an app? Funny enough, well, no, but I've made project. I've got a little side project about it. We've successfully have gotten an app onto Android and got it to all work and stuff. It's just the idea of the app. I was just like, probably not really useful. Well, yes, but no, because I can make it in Unreal Engine. I've done it in Unreal Engine, but this type of app would be open. Certain Unreal Engine games have a setting where other Unreal Engine games can't be open at the time. So if you're making something that's going to be probably open all the time, that's going to have an Unreal Engine game also be open, probably don't make it an Unreal Engine. At least for my case, that was going to be a problem. For the phone, no. But if it's going to be a desktop application, then that was going to be a big problem. Values. I don't know what that means. Like, that sucks. I know we're like 1 or 2 clicks away, and we got estimate 6, which I remember specifically turning on for a reason, so I can't remember why I turned that on. 3 and 4. Is it color? Types float. I don't even know what that means. Twitch show live counts combined. Got it to read. Oh, that's awesome. That's really sick. I don't know what we do with this. I mean, so. If only Google was better at Google. Can I? Yes. Typically, okay. Right? So which ones do I have wrong? Wait, what did he do? He did the same thing I did, or I did the same thing he did. Green texture post-process 0. But this doesn't have information, so this all has... What information... Oh, is it the alpha? Oh, wait. No. Yeah, it's just like, I'm in this. We'll figure that out. That's how I'm doing. That's how I feel all the time. Unfortunately, I can't help with that. I have not done that stuff yet. But I mean, hey, we figured out our code stuff right now, which is awesome. Let me go take a quick break, and then we'll be getting back in. For those who are interested in some more Unreal Engine 5, we'll get back in next time. Yo, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys after the break.